Today there's a wonderful opportunities with social media to get out and connect with people and build your business as an entrepreneur. And there's a new system that's out there that's not the same as others. It's audio only, kind of like a podcast only with another little twist that has some real special opportunities for entrepreneurs like you. And that's what we're talking about today. I brought with me Larry Roberts. He is a podcaster, a coach. He teaches people how to use this, works with technology, and really helps other entrepreneurs make their lives better. Larry's joining us from his offices out there in Texas. Larry, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Terry. It is awesome being here.
Well, just great to have you here because we're working with this new tool now called Clubhouse. And Clubhouse is something that's just amazing. From the 40,000 foot point of view, tell us kind of what is Clubhouse and how are entrepreneurs using it now, just kind of in a general sense.
They describe it as a brand new social product. And the cool thing about this product, we're all used to social media. We're all used to Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and all these other platforms. But Clubhouse is different in that it lets us use the one thing that we use every day, our voice.
Yes.
How often do we get to leverage the power of something that we've used since we were born?
Yeah, crying. Literally.
Exactly. Now, I use that when I need something. When mama says no, I go, come on, can I please? And
exactly.
Shed a little tear and it comes through. But we don't like to cry when we're trying to. It doesn't work. She's got a big, soft heart. What can I say? So, but we don't want to use, tears when we're trying to do our business. So Clubhouse is the next best thing because it allows us to talk. It allows us to create real relationships with people based on emotional connections. Because how many times have you ever tried to connect with someone via text or via email? It's very stagnant. It's very binary. It's just tick, 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 tick. You read the emotion into it. You read the inferences into each and every sentence. And how many times do we get that wrong?
Oh, exactly.
When you're having a conversation, how often do you hear somebody say something and the way that they say it and you misinterpret it?
Mm-hmm.
It may happen from time to time, but it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, and the intonation really speaks a lot.
Exactly. And as entrepreneurs, as business owners, we understand the power of our voice because why? We have to use it to basically sell our business each and every day. So we know exactly how to use our voice to maximize the effectiveness of the tools that we have been blessed with. Clubhouse lets us do exactly that. There's nothing else out there right now that will allow you to do it. Now, there are some competitors that are sneaking up on us, but they're not nearly there as of yet.
Yep, not yet, but they are there. I think I have to agree with you because it's a lot of power comes from the intonation. Like, for instance, you and I know each other. We're buddies. We know each other for a while. And if I send you a text and I say, Larry, you looked really good today. I use those words, text, and I send that to you. That says one thing. But if I get on an audio message or a video and I go, Larry, you looked really good today. Hey, I'm ribbing you. I'm poking fun at you, or we're having some fun together. And it's all in the intonation. It's all in how we say it. And that's where Clubhouse comes in because you hear those nuances and it does a lot. Well, what I'd like to do here is we're going to go ahead. I've got my iPhone plugged in here. We're using Zoom here. And I'm going to swipe down so that I get this. And we're going to do some screen mirroring. And there it is on the screen. Yes, indeed. I'm going to tap that. And there we go. And now, Larry, as you can see, we've got my iPhone there on the screen. Is that coming through for you okay?
Looks beautiful.
Wonderful. And iPhones do look beautiful. We know that. And so we got it right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide over here to the place where I have Clubhouse, and you'll see it right there in the lower right corner. And I'm going to tap on that right now. And when I tap on that, it comes up and it shows me Clubhouse. Is that coming through on your screen now, Larry?
It most definitely is.
Wonderful. Now, one thing we're doing on this, or those of you watching this, is that I would like to do, but I'm going to hold off because I'm not going to let you hear Clubhouse. The reason, they have a rule about that. Larry, tell us about that rule about not sharing audio and not recording it.
They allow you to record, but there is a major but there. The caveat is you have to have permission from everyone in the room in order to record the room first.
Reasonable.
So you have to have their permission.
Yep. And since we are not contacting these people here and getting their permission, we respect it. Now, could we physically do it? Well, yeah, you could do a lot of things physically, but that doesn't mean it's right, either from a legal or an ethical point of view. And so we are honoring and respecting the rules they have. You'll get a chance to see this. And what we would encourage you to do watching this on your device is to go over to Clubhouse and do it. Now, there is one little caveat, though. You can't just use any old device. For instance, I'm using my iPhone here. I have my Note 20 Ultra here, Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra, which I love to pieces. But Larry, tell me, could I use this phone or the iPhone? Can I use both of them?
Regrettably, you cannot. Currently, it's an iPhone or really an Apple product only. You can use an iPhone or you can use an iPad. Both will work, but you cannot use an Android device as of yet. There are plans to release the app on Android, but there's no dates that have been announced as of yet either.
Yep, exactly. So what we've got to do is we've got to say, all right, we're going to stay with that, and we're going to keep using it that way and see what we can do and make sure that it's working just right on there. And let's see, and shutting down a couple things there. It looks like, are you seeing the screen?
I am seeing the screen. And Terry, can I throw a little caveat in there? Because we're talking about Clubhouse and the power of Clubhouse and leveraging Clubhouse for entrepreneurs, coaches. Just because it's an iPhone or an Apple product app doesn't mean that you have to miss out on this powerful, powerful tool. I highly recommend as a business owner that you go and you pick up even a used Apple product. You can go all day on sites like gazelle.com, go to eBay. There are others out there. I think Declutter is another one where you can go and buy used Apple devices for $100. We invest $100 in our businesses all of the time. I promise you, if you go invest $100 and you jump on Clubhouse and you start leveraging it for your business, you'll get that $100 many, many, many times over.
Yeah, Larry, I want to jump on something you just said there. I think that's important. Those of you listening to this, I heard Larry say that before, and I stopped and paused and thought, he's absolutely right. Think about it. This is business. And if you can get an iPhone that will work and it's going to be $100, come on. If you had a friend come in from out of town, a real good friend, good prospect opportunity, and you want to go out to dinner, would you pick up the tab for $100? Well, of course, that'd be just one evening, no big deal. Well, you're getting a hardware tool. That's why, by the way, why I have iOS and Android. I use both. And Larry, did you know now you get double geek points back at the treehouse with the guys for that? Back at where all the geeks are, we hang out, and you get extra geek points when you have iOS and Android. So, that's pretty cool.
You're just dedicated. That's all there is to it. You're dedicated.
Exactly. Well, tell me, I'm looking on the screen right here. I'm seeing something. Let's start at the top here. I see a magnifying glass on the left, and then I see, looks like an envelope and then some other things. Can you tell us just a little bit about those and the idea of what we can do with Clubhouse?
Yeah. If you look at the screen right now, where we're at in the app is called the hallway. And the hallway has the toolbar at the top that you just mentioned. Also, some notes that you might want to take note of. Right now, it shows that Terry has 7 invites, meaning he has 7 invites that he can give out to friends, family, whoever it may be, coworkers that can invite them and have them join the app with them as well. So underneath that, next up, we have the top 3 of our scheduled rooms that we may be interested in. These show up in our hallway because people that we follow have scheduled these rooms. So we may want to take note and go, I might want to join the startup club here and celebrate and support creators here at 3:00. That might be a room that we're interested in. Then also from the hallway, we can swipe up and go through the variety of different rooms that are available to us in the hallway. The rooms are designated in these squares, these rectangles, depending on how many people are in the rooms. Each of these rooms, you'll notice, have a name. And if they're hosted by a club, just above the name of the room, they'll have the name of the club and a little green Monopoly house out to the right of that name. That means that room is hosted by that particular club. Now, if we were to go back to the top and talk about the toolbar that Terry had pointed out, we'll start left to right. We'll go with the magnifying glass. The magnifying glass is a search icon. This allows us to search for a variety of things. We can search for people to follow on the app. We can search for clubs to follow on the app or join. We can join clubs as well. We can search for various interests that may help shape our hallway, that may help designate what rooms we see when we open the app and we get inside the hallway. Now, moving to the exactly. It's great. This is how you start structuring the algorithm so that it understands exactly what you're interested in and what rooms you may want to be a part of.
Absolutely. And by the way, notice that little message came up there from Fan Booster. These kind of things happen too. These other messages just jump in there and right in the middle. And also, if I can interrupt here for a minute, we see the Dental Biz Club. Now, isn't that interesting? Because we work with a lot of dentists and we see, hey, here's a room that is devoted to dentisting humans, as Paul Goodman would say. And you can maximize your dental marketing and things that are there. Baker's Dozen Tips. Now, this is the kind of thing, think about it, where you can go, a bunch of other dentists get together and you talk about how to build your practice and what to do. Larry, I think that's just pretty amazing.
No, it's tremendous. And when you're making these rooms, it's very, very critical that you name the room very, very specific to the purpose of the room. Just like we saw there, it was dental marketing tips. All of that is SEO searchable. So make sure that you don't keyword stuff your title, but use keywords that are searchable, and more people will have the opportunity to find your room.
Yeah, exactly. Now, next thing we go over here, we've seen the magnifying glass over in the far left, got kind of a little envelope with a plus sign in there on that. Tell us about that one.
The envelope is where your invites will come in. Invites are still very, very random on the app. They come in on Wednesdays and Thursdays if you do get them. And generally they're handed out. If you are inviting people, if you are active on the app, you'll get more and more invites.
Yep. So this can be pretty nice there. Get a chance to do that. And then what about the one next to that? Looks like a calculator almost, or a calendar or something.
It almost looks like a calculator. I'll give you that, but it is the calendar. This is your event calendar. And if we were to click on that icon, it's going to default on the events that are upcoming for you. These are events that the people that you follow have scheduled. So they may be interesting for you. Now, something that I want to point out here is that Clubhouse is not a traditional follow for follow type app. And I'll tell you why. Because what happens is, if you're following individuals, although they may be your best good friend and you want to support them, keep in mind that their events, even if they're not interesting to you, are going to end up in your upcoming events calendar. So what you may end up finding out is that we're going to scroll and see all these events that really aren't relevant to what we're wanting to be a part of. So be careful when you're following on the app. Support your friends, but at the same time, understand the impact of following more and more people and what that's going to have on your experience.
Exactly. I think it's a very good point, because there's so much here. It can be a little bit overwhelming. It can be like, wow, information overload. But I'm reminded of what Clay Shirky talks about. The problem is not information overload. The problem is filter failure. And so we want to have those filters in there. Make sure that we say, okay, I want to see that. And yes, there's a lot of good here. There's more good than you can listen to at any one time. But nevertheless, there's just so much good here. It's phenomenal. Well, Larry, we're back here to the screen here. We see a little bell there with a red dot by it. What in the world does that mean?
That is your activity bell, meaning that either something has occurred, someone scheduled a room, someone has followed you, all sorts of different activities that have taken place on the app are identified at the bell with a little red dot. That just says, hey, this took place while you were away from the app.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good. Well, now, if I wanted to go into one of these, and again, we're not going to share the audio right now, but we could do that. Or I'm going to just tap here on the Dental Biz Club. But getting back to Clubhouse, Larry, this looks like a pretty amazing piece of technology. As we step back and look at it, I'm going to come out of sharing screen mode, because we've been able to see a little bit of that here, and ask you, what do you see are some of the major benefits that we entrepreneurs can tap into with this?
First and foremost, it's an opportunity to connect with others that you would never have the opportunity to connect with in any other platform. Sure, you might be friends with someone, but do you have the opportunity to get on a stage and talk to someone that maybe even you look up to, or you respect, or you follow as a leader in your industry, in your niche? You have that opportunity right now in Clubhouse. It's still new enough where you can get on stage and you can contribute to a room right beside the very individual that you look up to in your industry. That's the biggest and best thing that's about Clubhouse, is being able to connect people, build relationships, and establish yourself as an expert in your industry as well.
Yeah, Larry, I have to agree with you on that again. That is where people can get on here, and you just never know who's going to be in there. It's in the early stages of it right now. And now is a great time to get on Clubhouse, because it is relatively new. It's been around for a little while, but we're seeing it growing fast because people like that. And you can be in a room with big name celebrity in your niche, whatever that niche might be. You forge those relationships. Larry, I just high five and you across the miles, my buddy, on that, because it's really all about relationships. It's about building those things. I wrote the book on our commerce. It's not e-commerce, it's our commerce, relationship marketing.
Yes.
This is the key. And what you want to do is really connect with those people. I see Clubhouse is just a great way to do that, where you can also, in a way, it's like podcasting, but there's some differences. Could you tell me from your point of view as a podcasting coach, one of the leaders in the podcasting worldwide, what you're doing, what do you see similar and what do you see different between podcasting in its traditional sense and Clubhouse?
Well, podcasting is generally a one-on-one engagement, meaning I'm generally having a conversation with someone, or I'm even solo podcasting. So I'm just talking to the camera, hopefully talking to an audience at the same time, but that's not always a guarantee. But in Clubhouse, you can take the same conversation, hold it in Clubhouse. You can even record it as a podcast episode, but guess what? You can also have an audience live right there to engage, interact, contribute, ask questions, elevate the conversation to the very next level. So nice. All it does, man, it just makes the power of podcasting exponentially more powerful. I got to tell you, it's almost hard. It's almost hard to do a podcast now, thinking that I can't have that sort of interactivity, that sort of impact, that sort of engagement. Because I'm kind of an engagement junkie. That's how I make my money. That's how I make my living. That's how we all make our living, is people engaging with us and listening to the content that we're providing and reacting to that content. Clubhouse lets you do exactly that.
Yeah, to me, it seems a little bit like there's some analogies between that and live streaming versus watching YouTube videos. Live streaming, you've got that interaction, the chance for it. So people can leave a comment, and sometimes if you're using the right equipment, you bring them on the screen. Sure. You go, well, hey, there's Sally out there in Des Moines. Sally, what's your comment? Click, click. Sally's on the screen. We can see her. Well, with Clubhouse, you can ask someone, invite them to come up to speak. What's the proper terminology for that in Clubhouse?
That's actually it. Exactly. You bring them to the stage to speak, because Clubhouse rooms are made up in 3 sections. There's the moderators / speakers. They'll be at the very top of every Clubhouse room. Then the second section is the followed by the speakers / moderators. These are individuals that are followed by somebody that's on the stage speaking or moderating the room. And then they have the third section, which they just kind of refer to as others in the room. So that's not very cool, because they're still part of the audience and they can still engage with every aspect of the room. All you have to do is raise your hand. There is a little hand raising icon in the bottom right-hand corner of the app. Every time that you're in a room, you push that hand icon. That alerts the moderators that, hey, I have something to say, or I have a question that I want to ask. Then they will bring you to the stage. And then when it's your turn, you'll have the opportunity to contribute to the room.
Yeah, I like that format. In a way, for those that are professional speakers like me that are out here listening, think of it like you're on stage in a live event. Remember those things when we did it in person? What? Yeah, the people there, the real people there. But you could say, okay, do we have any questions? And you see a question in the back. You go, hey, Margaret, you've got a question. Come on up here to the stage, Margaret. I'm going to give you the microphone. And we want Margaret to say what she had or ask her question or whatever. We do that. And then when Margaret's finished, she sits down and Jane might come up. And so you're able to have that interaction. And it's alive, it's real time, it's not recorded. And I think there's a lot of energy and excitement to this.
And see, it still makes it easy for people to interact as well, because they still have the opportunity to be somewhat anonymous. So the pressure to perform in front of your peers, or the pressure to be able to get that question out to this person that you've looked up to for years and years and years, it's not there quite as much. Because it's just an audio conversation. It's like I'm talking to you on the phone. We're all used to that. We can all deal with that. And that's what makes this platform so powerful as well. It takes away some of the pressure of performance when you're on a stage.
Yes, very nice. Well, it is a powerful tool. And I encourage those of you listening to this, if you're listening to this right now and you say, hey, this Clubhouse thing sounds pretty good, get on it, get an iOS machine, get an iPhone. And like Larry said, I agree with him on this. Come on, go out for $100 or so, real cheap, get another one, get something good. You might put a few more coins into it than that and get something good. Then you can look at the other apps that are available only on iOS. That's why I like to have 2, because there's some apps that are available only on Android and they're really good. good. And so I get the best of both. You might want that as well. Look into Clubhouse, because this is something that already is hot, and it's going to get even hotter. We think it's going to go really far. But Larry, we're not going to let you get away here without letting people know how they can get in touch with you for your coaching, for your help in entrepreneurial venture. You're a new entrepreneur full-time as of just a little while ago. Is that right?
Yeah, January 5th was my first day. 2021 was my first day as a full-time entrepreneur. Walked away from 21 years at the exact same company doing not quite the exact same thing. It evolved over the years, but the bottom line is 21 years, walked away from it, full-time entrepreneur now, podcasting, content creating, and coaching. It's a wonderful life. Somebody's got to live it.
Excellent. Well, you're doing a great job. And so we want to know if somebody says, hey, I like that Larry guy. He's really got some good ideas. And he does. If you're listening to this guy knows what he's talking about. He's one of the leaders in the world in podcasting, coaching. He can help you up in many different areas. How do they get in touch with you, Larry?
You can reach out to me on my website at readily, READILY, readilyrandom.com. I'm also on every social media platform there is out there. Look me up, Larry Roberts, or at Readily Random. Find me on Clubhouse. Follow me. I'll be more than happy to help you any way that I can.
Excellent. Well, before we let you leave, any final words on where you see Clubhouse is now, where you see it going, and any words of advice for those entrepreneurs that are listening to this?
The one thing that I would say about Clubhouse is make sure you schedule your time in Clubhouse, because it will absorb every aspect of your life. That FOMO is so real when it comes to Clubhouse. And one of the things you'll notice now that even me, I schedule my time on Clubhouse now, because I was there I was skipping sleep. I was staying up I'm sitting here at my desk, my head's nodding, and I'm still just in the room, just hoping I hear something that I can contribute to. Be careful, schedule your time, and use it wisely, and it'll pay off for you.
Larry Roberts, it's wonderful having you here. We appreciate your input on Clubhouse and all the other good that you do. Thank you for being with us today.
Thanks so much, Terry. I appreciate it. It was my pleasure.
And for those of you that are listening to this and watching this, whatever format you're on, this is hot. This is something that's important as an entrepreneur. We talk about Agorapreneurs, the people who are entrepreneurs who believe in that freedom lifestyle, living and behaving voluntarily, peacefully with everyone. This is the key. Clubhouse is a way for you to do that, to learn, to grow, to interact, and build that community. I'm Terry Brock, and I look forward to hearing from you.